Hello and welcome to another RonPodcast. I'm Ron, and this is the podcast. So I have a lot of stuff to get through today. I watched Funny People last week with Adam Sandler, Leslie Mann, and Seth Rogen. Very, very good movie. I think it's a gem. Directed by Judd Apatow. And I watched the director's cut, which is about 2.5 hours. And for a comedy drama, it plays really well. It doesn't drag on. Everything in the story is really important. And the end is very surprising. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, then you probably want to skip ahead a bit. So at the end, I thought that Adam Sandler's character was going to die. I really did. But he's able to beat the disease. He's given this medication, these test drugs. And he's able to live the rest of his life. And it works for this movie. It's really good. Seth Rogen is fabulous in that movie. He does a really good job of dividing the comedy and drama aspects. One note that I have is Bo Burnham. He's a comedian who started out on YouTube. He's in the movie, and it's kind of a waste. They don't have him doing any stand-up or anything. He doesn't tell a joke. Jason Schwartzman is in the movie, and he plays a character who's an actor who stars in this school-based TV show. And we see Bo in there. And I don't know why they put him in that movie. I mean, especially 2.5 hours. You figure they could fit in maybe a minute-long comedy bit for him. And the rest of the cast is great. You got Jonah Hill. You got Jason Schwartzman, like I said. And just a terrific movie. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm starting to get worried about this one. Because remember in Spider-Man 3, one of the problems is that they introduced a lot of characters and they had several villains, some of which were new. And they tried to do too much in the movie. Recently it was announced that the Green Goblin has been cast. And we also have Electro and Rhino. Now that's a lot of villains for one movie. The Amazing Spider-Man, we didn't have that many villains. We had one villain. Spider-Man 2, we had Doc Ock. Spider-Man 1, Green Goblin, of course. But you don't want to do too much in one movie. Try to pack in as much as you can. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. It could be really good. They've also got Mary Jane coming into the movie. And the girl who plays her, I saw a photo and I don't know if that's going to work. She doesn't really look like what you think Mary Jane would look like. But Amazing Spider-Man was a great movie. I was really surprised by it. I was still kind of bitter about Spider-Man 3, being so disappointed by that. But this movie didn't make up for it, but it was certainly a good time. And last week I watched Man on the Moon, starring Jim Carrey. Andy Kaufman, what a character. Now, I first saw the movie back in maybe 2000, and it's still a classic. I mean, Carrey just gives such a great performance. And I think Andy Kaufman is still with us. I don't think he died. You know, I was reading up on him more, and there's just not enough evidence to back up his death. You know, they said that they filed the death certificate with Los Angeles or whatever, but I don't know, I figured he just paid somebody off, and because I was watching this interview on the David Letterman show. I think it was from 1983. It's the clip where he brings in all those kids. You know, he said he adopted all those African-American guys. And I remember Letterman was saying, like, well, you can't really live a normal life, can you? He's like, I think I can. Why not? So, yeah, that stood out to me. But at least I don't think he died, in 1984. Maybe he lived longer than that. So he may still be with us. But what a great entertainer. He never tried to make people laugh. You know what I mean? He was just natural. And, there's no such thing as bad press, and he proved that. And whether things were staged or not, that's left up to us to guess, for us to think about. But yeah, what a great entertainer. Comedians in cars getting coffee. I started watching this last week. Jerry Seinfeld, he picks up some fellow comedians and goes out for some coffee. And the shows last, about 10 to maybe 20 minutes. And that's a really good show. Really funny. And I watched the one, with Larry David, and those two just had so many chuckles. It was a hilarious episode. But definitely check that out. I'm about 6 episodes in, and there's been 1 season so far. I think there's about 10 episodes. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about movie theaters. So as you've heard in my previous podcast, one of them, I watched A Good Day to Die Hard, and I love the size of the movie screen. That's no problem. The sound is ridiculous. It's so loud. It's just unnecessary. I mean, it gets to the point where the lights above were rattling, and that's really annoying. You can hear that. I think they're, way too loud. And I don't get why people feel the need to text and talk on their phones in theaters. It's so annoying. Especially, these days, you can't buy a ticket for, a couple bucks. Well, unless you go to those $3 movie theaters. But, I paid $8.75, and it's like, I want to enjoy my movie. I don't want to see those little screens, the little phone screens. If it's an emergency, I completely understand. But otherwise, what's the point? Why can't you just shut your phone off and enjoy the damn movie? And, of course, the prices, that's always an issue. So I paid $8.75 for my ticket, and then I paid, just under $14 for popcorn and soda pop. And I was just going to get the small popcorn, but it's really, really, really small. Like, it wouldn't last 5 minutes, no pun. It was about $8, and he showed me, the box that comes in. I'm like, are you kidding me? I know that's how they make their money, but these prices just seems like every year they go up more and more. And, there's no need to talk during the movie. I know people like to stand up and cheer for moments, and that's great. That's no problem at all. But you don't need to have conversations while, the movie's playing. And it seems like it takes forever for people to, open a bag of candy. You hear that. But that's my little rant about movie theaters. I just suggest turn down the volume a bit. We like it loud, but not extremely loud. Pretty soon the theater rooms will start shaking. They're so damn loud. I saw the trailer for The Internship, starring Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, who worked together in Wedding Crashers, which I also watched last week. I watch a lot of movies. This movie looks pretty good. One of those that'll play well to audiences. Not one of those movies I think you want to watch on your own, really. Because that's the way their comedy works. They have those moments where an audience, they get the humor and they all laugh. They get an internship at Google. And I think it'll do okay. It's coming out in June, and they're already doing the marketing for it, which is good. If you go into YouTube, there's an interview with Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson, and they talk about the movie. It's about a 33-minute clip, and they answer fan questions. But I don't think it's going to match up to Wedding Crashers, but that doesn't really matter. It's nice to see them back on screen again. So I watched the Green Hornets, the 2011 movie again, a couple days ago. I wanted to give it a second chance, and I really liked the movie. I learned not to take it too seriously. After Dark Knight, it's like every comic book movie, you think, all right, this is going to be really serious, really dark-toned. This movie is a lot of fun. And the villain, I can't remember the guy who plays him, from Inglourious Bastards, plays Chudnovsky. Then he changes his name to Bludnovsky. He just had fun with the role. He's kind of slipping in and out with the accent at times. But his character, it's funny because his character was serious, but he just said stupid things. Like he looked serious, but he just say things that made you laugh. And I think it could get a sequel. I don't think people were really demanding it. Last time I checked on IMDb, it got like a 6.0 out of 10, which isn't that good. But Seth Rogen is great. If you like him, you're going to love this movie. It's kind of like if Vince Vaughn played a superhero. It's like you really have to like Vaughn, because there's going to be a lot of humor. And he's, again, with funny people, he's able to deliver a dramatic performance at times. There aren't many in this movie, but still a good time. That Black Beauty car is amazing. I still want that car. The guy who plays Kato did a really good job. At times he kind of reminded me of John Chu. He actually looked like him. So that could have been a role for John Chu also. Cameron Diaz is good in the movie. She doesn't really play much of an important role, but she still did a good job. Grown Ups 2, I'm really looking forward to this movie. I'm hoping we get a trailer soon. Adam Sandler, David Spade, Chris Rock, Rob Schneider, Kevin James, they're all back, and a couple more people. Really good cast, and I really enjoy Grown Ups. There's been a lot of hate, towards Adam Sandler the last couple years. I know Jack and Jill, I haven't even seen the movie because all I've heard are bad things, but, give the guy a break. Just go with it. I thought that was really good. I heard that him and Drew Barrymore are going to be making another movie. But I digress. So yeah, Grown Ups 2, I guess, the end of the school year, all the parents end up learning something from their children about life. That's the current plot summary, or plot outline, I think. But yeah, it should be good times. And I watched a trailer for Erased, starring Aaron Eckhart. Looks like a good movie. Towards the end, they kind of make him look like Jason Bourne. He's on the run, he's fighting people, he's got the black outfit on. But Aaron Eckhart is such a fantastic actor. So I don't think that movie will do very well, but I think it'll get good reviews. Man of Steel, just coming out in July. Early reviews say that it's really good. One thing that pleased me is that they said that Superman actually fights in this movie. Because remember, Superman Returns, and no offense to Bryan Singer, it's a very dramatic movie, but it's boring, just like Kevin Smith said. He doesn't throw a single punch in 2.5 hours. The big finale is, he gets hurt, he falls off a rock into the ocean, and then he goes to the hospital. It's like, that's your finale? That's the return of Superman? And he was out in space for 5 years, didn't find anything? You didn't even find a damn rock? No souvenirs to bring back? What'd you find? Not much. Really? 5 years? But I'm looking forward to Man of Steel. They said it's a Christopher Nolan type of film with Zack Snyder action sequences. I think that's what I read. I'm hoping he doesn't use too much shaky cam. But yeah, it looks like a great movie. It's getting a lot of good buzz. There's been 2 trailers. There's been a teaser and then a first official. And the guy who plays him looks like he's going to do a great job. I still think Brandon Routh should have been given another chance. He looked more the part. But I think they're going to go for a more grittier approach to the franchise. This movie looks, a lot darker. Whereas with the older ones, it's like, hey, I want to be Superman, fly around, save people. Well, this one is kind of like, who am I? Where did I come from? What does all this mean? So they're kind of taking the fun out of a lot of the superhero franchises. Except for the Avengers. Who wouldn't want to be an Avenger? Dumb and Dumber 2. That is the official title of the sequel, which is due out in 2014. And the 2 is T-O. So if you're good with grammar, you can figure that one out pretty fast. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels, I believe they both signed on. They're both listed on the page on IMDb. And 20 years after the original. And I think this is the first sequel from the Farrelly brothers. And they just did Three Stooges, which I love. That movie is a gem. A comedy gem. In number 2, they go on another road trip looking for a long-lost child. And they need to get a kidney, that's why. I don't know how that's going to work. It sounds funny, though. But they said for the first movie, they said, they travel across the country to return a lady's briefcase. That's all they told the studio. And they're just like, it's about the characters. It's about what happens on screen, With the plot, you could tell very little. But in the movie, you reveal everything and make it worth a while. After Earth, trailer for that. It looks okay. Looks like really good performances by Will and Jaden Smith. They also work together in The Pursuit of Happiness. Really good movie. This movie, honestly, it looks kind of boring to me. With just the two of them as the main characters, maybe throughout the whole movie. They had this montage at the end of the trailer. It looked like there were some creatures fighting, but I don't know. But looks like really good visuals. Some of the shots kind of made me think of Avatar. And I think it'll do really well box office-wise. I can't remember when it's coming out. I think it's in the summer. But yeah, look forward to that one. X-Men Days of Future Past. So I just read yesterday that Halle Berry signed on to play Storm. And they have, I believe, all the original characters from Singer and Ratner's movies coming back for this one, which is pretty exciting. You look at the cast list on IMDb, there are some big names. Deals with time travel. I guess the X-Men go back in time to prevent some incident from happening. So I'm guessing that, Halle Berry, Hugh Jackman, all of them, they go back in time, and then we see, Nicholas Hoult, Michael Fassbender, and all of them. It'll be weird interacting with themselves if that's what they do. But I'm really looking forward to that movie. That's still about a year and a half away. It comes out in the summer of 2014. Different director than the first one, I think. First one was Matthew Vaughn. And I heard he also backed out of Kick-Ass 2. So I'm not sure why. But yeah, Bryan Singer's directing this one. And I really wish that he would have directed the third X-Men movie, whether he calls it The Last Stand or not. I was really disappointed. Returns, it's watchable, but it's very, very dramatic, very slow. And I imagine that he wanted to direct the third one. It's just the studio was like, well, here's the release date, and here's your budget. And he's like, well, I want to make Superman. They're like, okay, we'll just give this to somebody else. Brett Ratner. I love the Rush Hour movies, but I don't think he should have directed X-Men The Last Stand. And, introducing all those characters. But anyways, yeah, Singer's back. That's pretty exciting. Maybe he'll direct the third if there is going to be one. Or if it'll just tie into his franchise. It is now March 5th. We still do not have a trailer for The Hangover Part 3. I'm getting kind of worried here. 2.5 months until the movie hits theaters. I don't know if this is part of their marketing plan, strategery. But it'd be nice to see a trailer. Because people are going to want to know, is this going to be like the other movies, or is this going to be different? I really liked Hangover Part 2. It's a sequel. It plays off the original. There's nothing wrong with that. But it got a lot of backlash, And I read that the studio may be postponing it because Bradley Cooper, all the Oscar buzz and the Silver Linings Playbook and all that, they don't want to give people the dual image. But it's not like his character's a prick or anything in The Hangover. I don't think it would hurt his career. But last I heard, the trailer is going to be attached to The Incredible Burt Wonderstone, which is in theaters in about a week. I think the middle of this month. That's the one with Jim Carrey and Steve Carell. The two almighties, for all you movie buffs out there. Yeah, it'd be nice to see a trailer. Just something. And in some really, really exciting news, this is currently a rumor, but it sounds like Christopher Nolan may be taking over the reins of the DC universe at Warner Brothers, the comic book franchise. That doesn't mean he'll be directing everything, but he'll be overseeing how these films go. It started with Superman. Like I said, the reviews say that it's a Christopher Nolan type of film with Zack Snyder action sequences. It sounds like he might be directing Justice League, and Christian Bale, may be returning as Batman. Now, I've heard, don't quote me on this, that Superman, he goes to Bruce Wayne, who's, in his peaceful retirement, and he pulls him out of retirement. He says something like, we're putting a team together, and brings him back. And I immediately thought, well, what about Robin John Blake, JGL, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, whatever you want to call him. So I figure maybe his character is just going to stay in Gotham City and protect him, while Bale returns as Batman and helps Superman. I don't know where they're going to go, New York, Antarctica, Europe. But it'd be exciting to see him back again. And I think that's all the news I have on that. That's according to Latino Review, which I heard is a really trusted news source, movie news source. And so yeah, fans are now wondering, what does that mean for Justice League? Who's going to play Batman in that? And what about the Batman reboot? Armie Hammer is rumored to be in that. Very good actor. But I guess we'll find out more. Probably over the next couple months. This Justice League movie, who knows? I mean, it might make the 2015 release date maybe push back. But they'll have to get everything organized. What do you think? Do you think that Bale should return as Batman? I mean, we all love him as Batman, but do you think he should come back? I mean, personally, I think I wouldn't mind. He's, 38, 39 at the end of Rises? And I'm like, well, what's he going to do with the rest of his life? And maybe Superman is like, oh, hey, Catwoman, you should come along too. But we'll see how that plays out. Anyways, that is going to do it for this podcast. Thank you very much for listening. And leave some comments below. Oh, there's a dog next to my car. And I will talk to you later. Stay tuned for more podcasts and subscribe. It's free. It's fun. Talk to you later.